Yeah, for my safety.
If you feel endangered, I would refer you to call the police.
So what do you provide as a safety line?
She says she feels unsafe. I'm sitting here, obviously, have my seatbelt on. Nothing's going on. She's sitting back there. She refuses to get out of my vehicle. So I'm recording for my safety.
Is there any store or is there anything in the area that you're in that you can go in and wait for your next Uber driver?
As you can see, there's the businesses right in front of us. You see the businesses. She says she don't feel safe, but she refuses to get out. She can go right to the business over there. There's chairs. She can sit there with her things and wait for her next Uber.
She's gonna drive off with my packages. I mean, this is like, never had this before. I'm pretty surprised that you're not able to provide more assistance other than call the police. I have an expensive package in the trunk. If I get out, what if he drives off with it?
Now she's saying I might drive off with her things when I can clearly just take them out and place them over the side.
Get out of his car and he's on the phone with the authorities. You could get your package and wait for your next Uber.
But how do I get the package? I need him to open the trunk.
Open the trunk.
Okay.
You can ask him to open the trunk.
Well, I'll do that right now. Whatever gets you out of here, I don't care. I'll open it. You get your package. Whatever you need to do. I'm going to get her package out of the back because she's scared I'm going to take her package. This is her package. Get her package out. Set it right here beside her so she can have it. Her package is out. Package is right there. I'm right here. I'm getting back into my vehicle.
First and foremost, I want to give all honor, glory, and praise unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of Great Millstone who teach 100% truth. Shalom to the 144,000 and to the elect. This your brother Ra'aya back with another one. And talk about some black fatigue. Like, this is white fatigue. What are you talking about? It's Esau, Edom fatigue. Look, the title of the video says Uber driver started recording a woman who claims she felt unsafe but refused to leave his car. Hold on, but how you feel unsafe but you don't want to get out of his car? And then she calls Uber 911 instead of actually calling 911. I guess she called Uber emergency something call line or something like that. So she's on the phone with them, and even them, they're telling her like, look, why don't you just get your package up out of his trunk and then you just wait for your next Uber? It's just like, man, what do you look, Jake? Jake, this is a testament to never trust thine enemy. Never trust thine enemy. Even when you doing work, never trust. Look, all Jakes should have a camera. If they doing Uber, they should have a camera recording the inside of their vehicle and the outside of their vehicle. Because there's many people that's claiming all this black fatigue with Jake. This is just an excuse for these Edomites to get a free ride. Basically, that's what it seemed like she was on. It seemed like she was trying to get a free ride. It looks like she was trying to see and call the Uber emergency and see if she could somehow cancel that ride. And he already then gave her ride to the place that she needed to be. And it's just, man, this is just a testament on never trust thine enemy. And let me get that in the scriptures as well, because this is This is ridiculousness, man. And Esau always seems to find a way to put Jake through some bullshit. So this is Ecclesiasticus chapter 12, verse 10. Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness, right? And like that, whatever that was in the back seat, that could have been a him or her. It could have been, how Esau get down. It could have been both, I don't even know I don't even know what that was in the back. It looked like a woman, but it could very well be a man as well. But anyway, it says, though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed. Didn't she seem as though she was like in the back seat? She was calm, or she was trying to at least, you know what I mean? I'm like, man, this, and then look, she really playing her role for real. she playing that role for real, cause she was truly acting like a victim out of a movie or something. That just looked like a scene out of a movie or something. Like this, he just so diabolical or something. Like what? Man, get the fuck out of here. That's why even these Edomites at the workplace, man, you gotta watch these niggas, man. They will get you caught up in some shit, man. Like I had a ex homeboy I used to hang out with back in the day, and this was like when I first found out about this truth, and I was telling him about it, and I'm like, look, you don't need to really be hanging with no Edomites and stuff, and I told him like, so-called white man or whatever, I'm like, look, you don't really need to be hanging with these people, because these people will get you caught up in some shit and get you, deleted real fast, or they'll get you arrested or get you prosecuted some type of way for you doing nothing, absolutely nothing, right? So the guy he was hanging out with ended up, the Edomite he was hanging out with ended up, how do you say, he ended up like passing, he ended up dying or whatever, right? But his family didn't know how he died, and the last person he seen was my homeboy. So the family, or the last people who seen him with somebody, they seen him with my homeboy. So they was basically trying to blame him and try to ask him like what happened to him and all this stuff and all that, right? He ain't had nothing to do with his passing and none of that, right? He wasn't even with him when he passed away and all of that. And they was trying to, man, it was just, even in his death, he pulled him into some shit. While he was living, he pulled him into some shit. And that's why I kept telling him, I'm like, hey man, you need to, if you don't cut him off, I'm gonna cut you off. And before he ended up passing. But look, it's crazy because the day that he passed, me and my ex homeboy talked, and he was like, me and him both, because I seen the guy too as well. Me and him both, because he was walking to the store and stuff. We lived by a store. So that's why, we seen him and all that at the same time. So he was walking past and we both was like, man, he ain't got much longer to live. And not knowing that he wasn't going to make it the next day. Well, the next day he was alive, but he didn't make it through that whole day. And needless to say, he basically pulled all of us into some bullshit. Had his family thinking that we did something to him and all this other junk. It was just some crazy work that was happening. Whole time he did everything he did to himself. Right? So anyway, it says, though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed, and beware of him, and thou shalt be unto him as if thou had wiped a looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust have not been altogether wiped away. Set him not by thee, lest when he have overthrown thee, he stand up in thy place. Neither let him sit at thy right hand, lest he seek to take thy seat, and thou at the last remember my words and be pricked therewith, right? And my thing about the whole, ordeal was I kept telling my homeboy, my ex-homeboy, whatever, like, he gonna be like an issue. Like, you need to cut it off while you got the chance to cut it off and stuff. Because he was into a bunch of, street shit and all that, I was, before this truth and stuff, I was in these streets and stuff, how Jake usually be, out here. And I ended up, coming out of that, and the Heavenly Father and Yahweh Shai and His Son Yahweh Shai brought me up out of that thing and brought me into this light. So, I was trying to take old dude, not knowing that, I was new to this thing. So I didn't know that the Heavenly Father would pick who he, he pick and choose who he want to, come into this thing. So I'm telling him all of what I know, and I don't really know that much at the time, but I was just telling him all that I knew. So he he didn't really even take heed. And because of him not doing it earlier, when I told him to stop messing with him, a whole bunch of, drama and commotion came towards us. So that's all I'm saying, y'all. Just watch y'all back when it's coming with Esau Edom, because he is not what y'all want to deal with, whether it's women or whether it's men. We can deal with they women, but not in no, like, don't wife them. You know what I mean? Make them, like something you just, you playing with, for the time being. Don't put them in a wife position, because then you'll be letting them get too close. And then this verse 13 that happened to you, who will pity a charmer that is bitten with a serpent? You know how that charmer that has the flute and is whistling to get the serpent. You know how a charmer, a so-called train a snake, a serpent, but you can't really train no snake and serpent, but they'll whistle and have that snake come on up out of that bowl or something, you know what I mean, and or that vase or that vessel or whatever, and then it'll come on up, and then if the charmer not paying attention, that motherfucker bite you and sting you and hit you with the death poison, the death, you know what I mean, bite. And you be up out of here. So it says, so one that go, Salaki, verse 13. Who will pity a charmer that is bitten with a serpent, or any such as come nigh wild beasts, right? So one that goeth to a sinner and is defiled with him in his sins, who will pity? And this is the same thing I was telling my ex-homeboy and stuff, because I was like, I was telling him, I'm like, look, you don't need to be caught up with what he got going on, because it's gonna get you, and then I ain't gonna have you, because I already told you what it was, and if you don't listen, then it is what it is. And that's essentially what happened. Verse 15, for a while he will abide with thee, but if thou begin to fall, he will not tarry, right? An enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips. And look, he always used to be like this towards me. He always, and it was a straight Edomite from Poland and stuff, Polish and stuff. So he was like, Salaki said, an enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips. He always used to come around, yeah, man, what's going on? And all this, whoop, 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 acting like everything cool. Look, whole time I walk away, right? My homeboy, he comes back and tells me, like, hey, man, he was talking crazy about you. As soon as you left, he talking crazy. The whole thing, though, I don't even want to get into the details, but I ended up having to knock him out one time for the one time and stuff. Because, Esau be doing a lot. And I'm like, I ain't the one to just be going trying to pick some shit, but he had that coming. But anyway, it says, an enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips, but in his heart he imagined of how to throw thee into a pit. And he kept saying that. He was like, man, I'm going to get him. I'm going to get him. And all that. And look, that's why I couldn't truly even trust my homeboy like that, because he allowing him to say this behind my back and all that. I'm like, oh, okay. He will weep with his eyes, but if he find opportunity, he will not be satisfied with blood. And honestly, I believe he would have did this. If he didn't pass, he would have tried to find some type of way to, catch me up in something foolish that he had going on. I don't even deal with him. If adversity come upon thee, thou shalt find him there first. And though he pretends to help thee, yet shall he undermine thee. He will shake his head and clap his hands and whisper much and change his countenance, right? So Esau Edom is like that for real, right? So I'm going to close out with that. I'm going to give all honor, glory, and praise unto Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rakakwadash. Shalom, y'all. On to the next.
Okay.
You can ask him to open the door.
I'll do that right now. Whatever gets you out of here, I don't care. I'll open it. You get your package. Whatever you need to do.